Now we got our manifold that we built on the table earlier. We got it all built. This is all ready to be installed and hook up our zones to the 3 valves. We have 3 zones and 3 valves here. Now time to do this connection and put it in the ground. This connection is going to be made with a coupling to hook the main line up to the manifold. Remember, on our gluing, we want to take and put a little bit of glue, not to overdo it. When you're gluing a fitting, you put it on, give it that quarter turn. Also, we're going to make this connection. A little bit of glue around the edge of the pipe and a little bit on the fitting, and simply glue this together. To make sure that's straight now, we want to set it down in there. All looks good. Now we're ready to go ahead and pipe our 3 zones. We came back from the store with all our parts now. I've laid all the parts out for zone 1. All the parts and all the fittings are here. The risers are on the fittings. Everything's ready for us to pipe zone 1 now. It's important that you do each zone separately. If you've never done this before, go all the way back to the valve and hook it up, because it's going to be, that way you're going to keep it all straight and you're not going to hook the wrong pipes to the wrong valves or hook. You have each one done separately, and the system will work perfect when you're all done. All right, let's start gluing these fittings together now. We'll start back here at the end of the system and work our way towards the valve. Remember, gluing the fittings to the pipe. What you want to do is get a little bit of glue on the end of the pipe and a little bit on the end of the fitting. And you want to put those on and make sure you give it a quarter turn. You can do all your gluing as much as possible on top of the ground, because that keeps everything cleaner. So as you're gluing your fittings together, remember, the more of it that you can do on top of the ground, the better it's going to be. You want to make sure you keep the pipe as clean as possible, all your piping when you're doing it. You can flush most of the dirt out, but if you just practice keeping it clean, it's a lot better for you when you do have to flush your system out. So we always try to keep the pipe as clean as possible. This one's going to go right in here. Okay, lay that right here. Now we go to the next connection right here. We're going to have to cut this one. Put our T in. You want to leave the risers off on the end until the last things, because otherwise you're trying to straighten them as you're gluing all the pipe together. If you get a little dirt down in the pipe, you can shake the pipe like that and it gets it out. Keep it on top of ground as much as possible. If you are sensitive to the glue, you might want to wear rubber gloves when you're doing this. One of the things is real important, and you need to be careful about when you're gluing those together. When you're putting the risers on, we want to make sure that you keep these risers good and straight up and down. So when you glue it on, set it down in the trench and make sure that it's straight up and down. We just finished piping zone 1, put all the risers in straight, we got all our fittings in. That zone is all complete. Now we're going to come all the way back here to the valve and do our final glue joint right here to the zone 1 valve. Now that system is all complete. Now let's go pipe zone 2.